it was my first 100k, so I actually just wanted to finish it. I was a bit surprised. We went into the night, and then in the morning, I was doing the biggest climb. I was just actually texting my wife. She was tracking me on GPS, and she was like, "Oh, you're first." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know." The best hallucination I think I've heard about was one of the runners started hallucinating, and he thought he was the organizer of the race, and he started picking up the flags that was the course.
Hey everyone, Mathieu Hedin here, and welcome to another episode of Everyday Heroes, the podcast to celebrate the athletes all around us that prove that greatness comes from the common days. This was created with the hope to make us all realize that we all have something extraordinary in us, and sometimes all we need is the example of others. This is the place for the athletes to tell their stories and hopefully to inspire you to do great things on your own. And today I am with Jamie, an Irish engineer who used to play Gaelic football at a semi-elite level and sometimes in front of a crowd of 80,000 people. Today, he has found a new passion in trail running, where he channels the same competitive spirit into pushing his limits and aiming for the podium. Hi, Jamie.
How are things? Thanks. Thanks for the nice intro.
How was the description of you?
Yeah, it was complimentary, so that's always good.
Well, that's always good to hear. Huh? All right. So I watched Gaelic football, as I told you on YouTube before you came to the show, and I must say I do not understand anything about it because it looks like a mix between football and rugby. Can you briefly explain it to me?
Yeah, I think that's the response of most people outside of Ireland. So Gaelic football is a sport that's come from Ireland, generally only played in Ireland. I guess played by Irish people in all cities across the world as well. Like there's a team in Lisbon as well that I play with.
Wait, you have Gaelic football?
Here, yeah.
Ah, okay, I
So
didn't
we
know.
play the other Spanish cities. They're setting up a team in Portugal as well or Porto as well at the moment. But the sport itself, it's 15 aside. It's like football, but you can use your hands. And there's goalposts like rugby. If you kick it over the crossbar, it's 1 point. If you kick it into the goal, it's 3 points. It's more physical than football, but less physical than rugby. And it's a very big pitch. It's probably 2 football pitches. So it requires...
There's it's 2 football pitches.
Yeah, it's
Wow.
big. Yeah, it's big.
For 15 players.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So there's a lot of running. So there's a good
Well, which is
that's
why.
a good segue.
All right. All right. And you played at a semi-elite level, right?
Yeah, so it's an amateur sport. Every small village in Ireland has a team. So every village has a club, and if you play for your club, you don't transfer. You always stay from where you've were born and where you grew up. If you're good at a club level, you then play for your county. So a county could be like Dublin or Cork, and there's 32 counties, and the big competition is between those 32 counties. So the best players for the clubs go play for their county against each other.
Mm. And what position were you playing there?
I was a defender, so my job was to stop people scoring, to be a spoiler.
All right. So you were in contact then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was given like man marking jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Their best player and
But
stuff.
were you like more muscular back then?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing the rugby player, like they are massive. Is it?
Yeah, we wouldn't be of being as big as them because we'd have more like of a cardio challenge. So, but I would have, since I started running, I've lost a lot of muscle mass that I used to have.
Well, that's a very random question that comes to my mind. But do you believe that you can be muscular without being a bodybuilder and be able to run?
I do believe that. Depends how much running you want to do. So I like to run 5 or 6 days a week. So that, like, I've a busy job as well. So it's just I don't have much time
Yeah, okay,
to
so
go
it's
to the
it's
gym.
it's a question of time
Yeah, it's
because
a question of time more
all
than
of your
anything.
time is dedicated to use to running.
Yeah, you can see like the I don't know, would say influencers or hybrid athletes that they're running serious marathon times, but they're still jacked.
Yeah, 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 but more time in the end. It depends.
It depends how much time you
Yeah,
have to.
yeah, all right. And getting back to Gaelic football, because I can't imagine how is it to play in front of 80,000 people?
It is a bit surreal. So when I made my debut for the county, I was 20, maybe 21, at a senior level, and my championship debut. Yeah, so we were on the bus and we were heading towards the stadium, and all the fans were out drinking before the match, and it was just a surreal moment where I just saw like a sea of people, everyone shouting at the bus, and
Oh
then like
my God.
yeah, went out to the stadium for the warm up, and there was about 30,000 people shouting, and then there's about 40,000 by the time we started the match. So before it starts, yeah, you're kind of wondering what's going on, but when the match starts, it's just any given Sunday, as they say.
Yeah, except that every move you do, you get either like a woohoo or people whistle at you. How
Yeah,
do you
yeah,
call this?
that
Yeah.
is probably the biggest difference is that, uh, yeah, any like a foul or any big, yeah, you hear these oohs and ahs that you don't have at like smaller matches, and then in the very biggest matches, you actually can't hear your colleagues, like you be shouting at them or your teammates, sorry, to do something, and they actually can't hear you
Because of the crowd.
because of the crowd. Yeah, yeah. So then, like like funny things happen where, like, a player that should be marked is just on his own because no one saw him, and you couldn't you couldn't get someone to mark him because it's so loud.
My God, I can't imagine
Yeah.
how it must be. And how do you train for Gaelic football? As you told me, it's a lot of endurance, but there is still some contact. So how do you do?
Yeah, so generally at the county level, the training week, you've had a pre-season into a league campaign and then into championship, and then so what you're basically training on the pitch 3 days a week. You're in the gym 2 days a week, and you've got maybe a match or a training match on the weekend. In the preseason, maybe you're doing like double sessions. So because we all would be working or in college, we could do a pitch session and then go straight to the gym afterwards. Um,
So like so pretty much like 6 days a week and
yeah,
sometimes
yeah,
double session.
yeah, yeah. So maybe 5 days a week and then a recovery for a day or two as well.
And how many hours a week are we talking about?
Uh, Probably looking at every session is 60 minutes to maybe 90.
Like 10 hours?
Yeah, maybe a bit less, maybe 60 so for each of the
All right,
sessions,
all
yeah.
right. Wow.
Maybe the gym is a bit longer, but yeah.
All right. And do you think the clubs where you were and the coach help you to be better at this sport?
Yeah, yeah, most of my success is down
Yeah.
to the coaches that I had at underage level through to my senior career.
Like, is it what did they do in particular to like to push the team to win things?
I guess they decide the culture of most teams is decided by the coaches and by the players. So it's a bit of yin and yang, they're both mixed in together. But if you don't have a good coach, you're probably not going
Yeah.
anywhere fast.
And does it like taught you something that you can apply now to trail running?
Um, yeah, I guess the knowledge that I have about running has only come from coaches. Like whether that, I've got that information from the internet or books or various sources, but I don't. Everything I know about running has come from coaches.
Uh, and what made you start Gaelic football? Because I don't know if this is how cultural this is in Ireland, because I've never
Yeah,
heard
yeah,
about it. So is it like something that everyone does,
yeah.
or
It's huge.
yeah?
Basically, it's almost like the community center for every village, and generally, your parents would have paid for the club that you play for. So it's ingrained in families. So generally, as like a 3-year-old, you're brought up to the pitch on a Saturday morning,
At 3 years old,
and they
important.
just throw you in, and you just run around doing nothing. And then maybe by 5 or 6, they start coaching you.
And by the way, speaking of this, because you come from a sporty family, right?
Yeah, my dad played for the county that I played for as well. My sisters played
So this is
sport as
also
well.
because of that you were brought to.
Yeah, my dad would be, I guess my whole family, but my dad would have had a very big influence in my playing.
Because that comes, it reminds me of a question I had before. Like, do you think one should come, or do you think it's better to come from a sporty family if you want to compete at high level, whereas Gaelic football or other type of sport? Like, do you think your environment is crucial if you want one day to be very good at a sport, or can you be able to pull this off by yourself just because you like it and you put the work?
I think both can happen. So if you have like that sporty family background, that's going to set you up well. And then the other way, if you have a person that maybe doesn't have that in their family, they're probably going to create that maybe subconsciously. They're going to get in with their friends who are playing that sport, or they're going to find that mentor or coach outside of their family. So it's that environment that you create for yourself that creates any level of performance up to elite performance.
And did you create now your environment, your own environment in Lisbon, now that you are away from?
Yeah, I guess I guess I did it from running with clubs, and then from the coaching. I'm self-coached, but the knowledge I've got has come from the best coaches in at running.
And so you told me Gaelic football is kind of a mix between football and rugby. It's not as violent as rugby, but it's more violent as football. Um, did it, did this practice of sport led you to any kind of injury? And based on this, are you able now to prevent easier the injuries?
Yeah, so I have a long injury list from when I was playing Gaelic football, and I know my body quite well now because of going through, you could say, some hardships and injuries that I've gone through before. So I generally work with a strength and conditioning coach in Ireland, and yeah, working with him, I know how far I can push myself towards the edge and hopefully not tip over. Like, I guess training to a high level is pushing yourself, doing as much work as you can without getting injured, which is the big.
Yeah, it's a question of balance. You need to push yourself to provoke adaptation, but it's a balance between too much, because if you go beyond this line, yeah, you're gonna break. But it's hard to tell.
Yeah, like one obvious. It sounds obvious now, but when I was younger, when I was playing with Cork, I was in good shape physically. You could say, to look at, I was like, like gym wise, I was in good shape, but I was injured, and I was injured for a long while. And then one of the senior players, he kind of said, if you're injured, you're like no good to us. So after that, I kind of toned down the S&C side of things, and just always kind of made sure that I was available to play. Now, that sounds really obvious, but that made a big difference. And it's the same with running. Like, if you're running, if you get injured, you break your streak, you could say. Whereas running is just about building volume, and building adaptions. So you really just can't get injured.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I think the number one goal for any kind of sport should be don't get injured, because you can push yourself, sure, but once you do, and if you get injured, you're gonna lose like months of training, like to get better, and also to go back to the where you used to be. It takes a while, so that should be number one goal, I think. But
Yeah. I made that mistake in running like 2 years ago.
how did you get injured?
In running,
Yeah.
and yeah, as I said, I've kind of taught myself, or just learned as I went from running. So I did the only marathon I did it I think 2 years ago. So I did that marathon, and then I wanted to go to a trail camp in France, and then I booked that. The marathon was in June, and I went to the trail camp in the summer. it was only when I was coming up to the marathon that I realized, oh no, this trail camp is too close.
Yeah, probably.
But I ran the marathon and then I did the trail camp. And when I was doing, it was about 3 weeks after when I was in the trail camp, I was like running for a week and I felt like amazing. I was like, absolutely like for where I was then, I was like prime fitness. And then in the last session, when I was finished, we came off the mountain and my knee like locked up. And I was like, oh, what's that? And it took a while to get it diagnosed, but basically I had like IT syndrome, which gives you pain on the outside of your knee, and it's just from too much overload. So that was I learned a hard lesson about
Yeah,
load.
for sure. Progressive overload and getting progressively back to volume once you finished a very hard and challenging race, whatever this is. But yeah, well, that's that's the way we all learn in the
Yeah.
end. And once you moved to Lisbon, so you switched from Gaelic football to trail running, as you mentioned. What got you into this? Because it seems like quite a big leap from Gaelic football, no?
Yeah. So when I came to Lisbon, I played football for a while, a bit of five-a-side, and yeah, it was good fun. But I realized I have like a desire to train at a high level, or yeah, I just enjoy pushing myself and seeing where the edge is. And I wanted to see the country, and I kind of did a bit of research and figured trail running would be a good way to get some physical exercise while going around the country to
Yeah, for sure. I think it's a
some
great
random
way to discover, a region. Because how else could you do it? You could hike, but it would take you like 3 times the amount of time. So
yeah,
why not running?
yeah. Like it's amazing. Even like when you go from hiking just to a small jog, the difference in speed that you'll cover. But yeah, so like through trail running, I've just got to visit areas in Portugal that I'd never go to otherwise, that are all beautiful.
Where have you been?
I've been a lot in Serra da Estrela, around that area.
You need to show me a few places there because I'm still not very familiar with it. But okay,
Yeah, Luzerne as well. And that's a really nice area. Some of the Alentejo races, some other close ones as well, Mafra. Spend a lot of time in Sintra. Sintra's like second home. It's beautiful.
I think the best place I've been in Portugal for and like periods in general is in the north of Porto. What is this?
Gires or even further.
Gires.
Yeah,
Gires.
yeah.
It's like the word breathtaking made the sense made sense when I came there. Like I was all by myself, completely lost in this huge nature reserve, chasing the different waterfalls because it's known for hidden waterfalls. Fantastic.
Yeah. It's on the list. It's meant to
Yeah,
be.
well, you should go there. Speaking of trail, it means also races. And you've recently, well, I don't know if it's recent, but let's say recent. I'm not sure. You tell me. You won the Serra da Estrela Ultra Trail, which is 100 kilometers category. But is it like 100 kilometers?
Yeah, I think it was like 96 or 98.
Ah,
I
so
was kind of annoyed. I was like,
it's not 100K.
I was thinking of like doing a 4K warm down to get like.
Right. And so this plus another 50K.
Yeah, I did a
So all right,
50K.
so I'm gonna talk it one more time. I'm gonna say it one more time. He won 2 times a trail, and he's not elite. Well, I mean, as far as I know, right? So I think we all consider that this is truly fantastic, man. Well, at least to me. And did you apply what you learn in Gaelic football in this training, or did you just learn it from yourself, from your books, from how did it come from?
I think so. I ran a bit with LXRC, and then I also run with Monsanto running team. So they're a trail team based in Monsanto, hence the name. And yeah, they have some guys there with a lot of experience. So I've been running for 3 years, and it's really kind of just been getting coached from them and just slowly gaining the experience and knowledge, and actually just my body like adapting. That's probably been the biggest thing, bringing the fitness that I have from Gaelic football and kind of transferring that, you could say, aerobic base to being able to run. So basically, in Gaelic football, the longest game is 70 minutes plus extra time, whereas 100k is a lot longer. So the body just had to get used to the
And
differences.
how do you train? Because I think there is a huge difference between training to complete a race and training for first place. So first of all, were you training for a podium, or were you just training and just you put on enough work to come to the first place?
Yeah, so for the 100k, it was my first 100k, so I actually just wanted to finish it. I was a bit surprised. So
This
basically,
is so annoying.
um, yeah, so for that race, yeah, I guess a lot in trail running you hear about people like, bonking or, struggling to finish. So I knew that I wanted this, I knew that I wanted to stay below a certain heart rate level. And I knew if I stayed at that level that I would be okay to finish the race. So I set off at that pace, and that kind of had me maybe in like the top 10. I knew I'd maybe at that level I knew what time I'd want to do. So I knew I would be in maybe that area. And then as the start of the race started, I just continued at that pace for a while. So we started at 10 o'clock at night. So we went into the night. And then in the morning, I was doing the biggest climb, and I was just actually texting my wife, and she was tracking me on GPS, and she was like, "Oh, you're first," and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know."
So you didn't realize?
I didn't realize it was
Yeah,
first.
I
She
guess it was
told
so
me.
confusing that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
thought it was maybe like top four, which is I was like fine with that, and then first like,
And
oh
then, wow, I've been alone for quite some time
yeah,
now.
yeah. So then yeah, for the rest of it, I just tried to go fast.
And how do you train for this? Like, how many hours did you put for? Because I know it varies during your training, but let's say the peak of the training, how many hours a week were you training?
Maybe around 11 to 13, definitely. I think less than 15, I'd say. Maybe like 110k was like 100.
Including strength training
I
or?
generally only like do one gym session a week, just from a time perspective.
Okay, okay. I would think you could train more than that, but
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. No, I I could, but it's just life, and
Yeah, I mean, at some time, yeah, I mean,
yeah,
you have to figure out also how to balance things out between, well, your life and that, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to train more. I'd love to be a pro.
Well, go for it, no?
I'm a little old.
Bah, yeah. Do you know Ludovic Pomeray?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
Ludovic Pomeray, for those who don't know, is a French ultra trailer. He's, I think, over 50 years old now,
Exactly.
and he is unbeatable at races. Now he can't be first because, well, sometimes he's getting a bit old. But at 50 years old, I think this year he did UTMB, La Diagonale des Fous in the French Réunion, and the Hard Rock 100. So three ultra trails of 100-mile category in a year at 50 years old. So I think,
And three of nearly the biggest races.
yeah, biggest races in the world, and he went each time like top 5 maybe or something.
Did he win Hard Rock?
I'm not sure. I have to
Yeah,
check, but
yeah,
I know that Diagonal des Fous
yeah. He didn't.
he
Yeah,
did like fifth place, fifth
yeah.
position, I think, or something like that. So,
But he's rocking it at 50.
how old are you?
I'm 37.
Go for it, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think he pretty much started his pro career very late as well.
Maybe. Yeah, yeah.
I mean, who knows? Who knows? Interesting.
You can coach me to turn
I'm
if I turn
I'm
pro.
putting the seed in
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah.
All right. And did you have, sorry, a strategy during this 100K, like during the race? What was it?
Yeah. So what was the strategy? Because it's 100k, and if you go out too fast, you basically burn your heart rate gets too high, and then you burn the energy you have, and you basically crash. So basically, nearly for the first half of the race, it was to stay slow, and how I calculated that was roughly on perceived effort and heart rate, and then to eat a lot.
Yeah, because that's the number one factor of DNF in ultra is food. Well, nutrition. Sorry. Well, bad nutrition like gastric problems that you can have if you eat too much or something that is new to you that your stomach is not used to, or if you don't eat enough because you're gonna crash and burn. So yeah, there is also a gut training that one can have before. Hey guys, I am an endurance coach and I train runners to complete their first trail injury free. Everyday Heroes is the podcast, but it's also a private coaching tailored to you and based on science. For a limited time, I offer you a free call to help you build your training plan. The link is in the description. And now back to the episode. But okay, so you had your nutrition strategy, you had your pace strategy. Some people also have their kind of mental strategy when you're gonna enter the pain cave when things gonna be very very hard. How did you do?
Uh, yeah, so I think from Gaelic football, so it's amateur, so none of the players get paid, but basically everyone else gets paid. So we have like at the county level, you'd have S&C coaches that would be they could be working with professional rugby teams. So we've very good S&C coaches. We'd have sports psychologists, nutritionists. So I basically worked with almost like Olympic standard psychologists and nutritionists. So that side of it, I think I have good experience from my previous sport. And to be honest, I don't feel the pressure. I felt the pressure when there was like 40,000 people, and if I lost everyone where I lived, would be I get a bit of a slagging. Whereas for this, I feel less of the pressure, and when I go into the pain cave, I guess I just have um triggers that I kind of have taken from my previous sport, where I just feel comfortable in that space.
Wait, what kind of triggers?
I guess good self talk.
Talking to yourself, you mean, or
Not out
like you
loud.
can do it, you can do it.
You look a little bit crazy. Just kind of just contextualizing what's going on. Definitely sometimes you're like, why have I paid to do this? And then it's just like getting rid of that voice quite quickly, and just kind of enjoying the process, or enjoying the point that
Yeah,
I'm at.
I was I was watching an interview of a French quite young trail ultra trailers, Clem Kikour. Maybe you've heard of him? No. Well, anyway, and he said during an interview that the one thing that dissociates people during an ultra from the people that will finish and will finish fine to the people that are going to crash and burn is you need to realize that you made this to yourself, and even though it's hard, it's really amazing what is happening to you, and you need to find the pleasure to keep on going, because if you lose that purpose, if you are only focusing on your pain, then at some point you're going to only focus on this, and then your mind is going to play against you.
Yeah, yeah, I'd agree. Like your mind is trying, sometimes almost against you, and then it's about tricking it. And one of the main ones that points I had was generally every 2 hours you'd have an aid station. So I broke it down into 6 segments, 6 2 hours.
Yeah, and then focus only on the next one,
Yeah,
right?
so I was like, get my nutrition right for the next hour or two
Mm,
hours.
yeah.
I have 15K to the
Mm,
next aid station, and then you just repeat that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, because if you're 20K in, you're like, oh, I've got 80K to go. You're just like, oh my god. Whereas you were just like, oh, I've got 40 minutes to the next aid station. It's completely different.
Yeah, for sure. Like when I was running my Ironman, I broke the whole distance into several pieces, because if you, from the start, you're going to say to you, I have to run, swim, and cycle 226 kilometers, it's way too big to understand the distance. Whereas if you break down first into the different categories, like the swim, the cycle, and the running, and then within you break into as many 8 points as there is, and okay, I'm going to focus on the next one and only focus on that and completely lose interest of the rest, then it's much easier, I think, you know.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree.
um I just made up this question because it reminded me of another interview. I'm watching way too many interviews about training, so my bad. Did you have any hallucinations during the 100K?
No, generally I think that happens on the second night. So like I started at 10
At the second
p.m.
night, yeah.
and I went through the first night fine. I think it's when you go through the second night that things get a little interesting.
Yeah, because it was for the anecdote. Do you say anecdote in English?
Yeah,
Yeah, anecdote.
yeah.
Yeah, for the anecdote. You know Mathieu Blanchard?
Gosh,
Mathieu, that's a French ultra trailer. So my reference are French. Sorry, I don't know much about the other nationality, but anyway. And he said that during the one of the UTMB he did, he had a hallucination where he saw people from Mario Kart, you know, like the small turtles. He was like,
yeah,
"Eh."
yeah. The best hallucination I think I've heard about was one of the runners started hallucinating, and he thought he was the organizer of the race, and he started picking up the flags that was the course.
That is so bad for the other
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
What advice would you give to beginners that want to try trail and ultra trail?
I think yes. A couple of bits of advice. The first would be it's not as hard. I think people who run like road, they run like 5Ks and they push themselves hard and it feels really hard. And then they hear, oh, that person's running a 50K trail race and they think it's that pain of 5K for 50K, which it's not like, like for a large part of trail racing, you can be like walking uphill or power hiking, as they say. So you just try a small race. You're gonna enjoy it more than you think. Like I convinced my wife to do one recently, and I think she now understands me a little bit better. So yeah, try a small race, a local race, like the local races in Lisbon and Portugal are really good, and I imagine it's the same anywhere. You're out in nature, which kind of naturally makes you feel a bit better. Um, and yeah, maybe I would say work with someone like yourself or work with a coach who can help you on the journey. I think I'm maybe a bit unique in that I had a bit of experience to bring from a different sport. So if you don't have that, you know, work with a coach or join a group, join a running group that they have that experience to kind of help you on the journey.
All right, interesting. Because I think this is main barriers for people that want to try out trail and especially ultra trail is like, wow, this is that much more longer than flat running. But like a 5K, 10K, 20, 21K is most of the time it can be all out, where the intensity of the effort is very, very high. Whereas in ultra trail is really about managing your energy. It's a different kind of pain,
Mm.
but yeah, it's not as hard as people would think, I think.
Yeah, but even if it's, and especially if it's not a race, like if I go to Sintra and I do, a 10K training session or longer, it's
It's
just
so
being,
much more nice. Like
it's
you are
just, yeah,
out there in the
yeah,
nature and you don't
yeah,
feel that it's 20K because sometimes you're walking
yeah,
and
yeah,
that's
yeah,
also part of the training.
yeah. I
So yeah.
agree.
All right. What drives you to run ultras? Because that's not like a very common choice, to go for ultras. As you said, it's kind of scary for people. Is it about discovering yourself? Is it about being out in the nature? Or could it be also because of the challenge? Because you want more and more.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of all of them. So like when I joined the Monsanto trail running team, I was kind of the same as what you just described. I was like, how are these people running 50Ks or 100Ks? So then I went training with them where they're only doing 10K trail running. I enjoyed that. So then I did like a 20K race and then some 30K races. And then I was speaking to my teammates and they're like, generally you run 30, then you get a bit tired of that and you do a 50, and you get a bit tired of that and you do 100, and then you pick what you like.
So,
So, and that's basically what happened to me over about 2 years. I went from doing the 30K distance up to 100, and maybe I think my sweet spot at the moment is like 50. You know, but when you're picking races, I think it's important just to pick what pulls you, what you just maybe have an attraction towards. Like I like running that race in Ireland because it's close to where I'm from. So it could be random reasons why you pick a certain distance in a certain race. So yeah.
yeah, no, it's also probably about the amount of time you can put into the training, because 50K versus a 100-mile ultra is not the same kind of training.
Uh,
Don't you think? No.
I think a 50K training, I think they are quite, you could be doing 5 days a week. Yeah, you could, I think you could. Ideally, maybe you should be doing more, but if
Mhm.
you're there to just complete the race,
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess it depends on your objective. Like,
yeah.
probably you can give the same amount of training hours, like between a 50K where you really want to perform and 100K or 100-mile where you only want to finish. Maybe you can have the same amount of hours.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right. Right. And how do you balance things out between your work, your training, and your personal life? Because when it comes to ultras, even though, all right, it depends your objective, most of the time you can't really get away with only 3 or 4 hours of training, especially at peak training. You really have to put more volume into it. So how do you do it?
Yeah, I guess since I've been probably 14, like I've always trained 5, 6 days a week. So it's just almost ingrained in me. And so I guess that kind of structure comes naturally to me. I actually like that. If I didn't have that structure and training, that's actually kind of when I get like
Yeah, I
agitated.
agree. I wouldn't be able to not do anything.
Yeah, so I have that. Yes, sure. Sometimes I'll be, more more social or going out more. But I like to have the structure. I generally just feel good when I am training. And yeah, at the moment I do a lot of training in the morning because it just makes life a bit easier.
Like
But
you're
again,
done, and then you can carry on with the days. And because I
yeah,
agree, like especially after a day of work, it's very hard for me to find the motivation to train. Whereas if I do it in the morning, I'm like, all right, well, now it's done.
yeah.
Yeah. But I find it hard personally whenever you have social things to do at during the evening, because I know, like, even if I had like one drink or maybe a couple, the day after, if I have a hard training, like intense or a very long one, it's always harder. And when you accumulate fatigues, it's hard to balance.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yeah. I agree. Like I'm even looking at next week. I think I'm going to the sporting match on Tuesday, and I have a work dinner on Wednesday, so I'll probably do my hard session on Monday, and then
Yeah, I also try to
I'm literally
place the things like,
thinking this is
all right,
yeah.
here is where I'm gonna go out, so the training session should be.
People are talking. It's like,
Do you think you can have a social life and be very good at ultras?
I guess what you define as very good,
Yeah, yeah.
and what's a social life. One night a week of going out might be not enough for one person, and someone else might need four, and it's the same for training. So it's all relative to the person.
Yeah, exactly. All right. How do you think one can last in sport?
I think there's a few things that you just need to give it maybe a bit of time, and I think you need to find that social group that it becomes one that it's easy. So like if you're thinking about going to the gym, that gym needs to be as close as possible to your apartment or house, and needs to have good opening hours, and then you're just basically reducing the amount of obstacles.
Friction.
Yeah.
You read Atomic Habits?
A long time ago, but yeah, I must have subconsciously
Because
just picked them
I
up.
remember a
Yeah.
lot of it about it.
So yeah, so
It's make it easy, basically.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. Make it easy and make it so. I think make it social is important, so you enjoy it. So that's going to get you into it, and then probably within 3 to 6 months before you know it, it's part of your life, and then staying in it. I guess it's enjoyment and challenge probably. Um, like so I actually enjoyed switching sports. I was probably coming to an end of my Gaelic career, and generally players would move to like golf or something else because being part of a team, like it sets your training. Whereas with running, I set my own schedule, and I actually enjoy that now, that freedom. Um, so I think it's okay as well to you know be with a sport for 10 years and then switch. People go to high rocks or whatever, they switch from one sport to another.
And you were mentioning the importance of, doing a sport within a group or a team. Don't you find it hard to do training in trail as a group if you have different levels or if you have different objectives? Like, how can you concise everything into a group?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. So basically I train with Monsanto. They train every day at 6 a.m.
Every day?
Well, you don't have to train, but there'll be someone there in Monsanto.
Okay.
So then you can go as you want, and roughly they have a schedule of like Monday recovery, Tuesday hills, all the way through the week. So what is there. So then I can do some sessions with them, and if I want to do personal sessions or harder sessions, I can generally do them on my own or maybe with other people at my level.
Oh wow, that's I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the best quality one can have to perform in ultra trail?
I need to think. Did I answer that question? um, what is the one quality? I think resilience probably.
Resilience, like what do you mean?
It's a sport that is based around pushing yourself like in the pain cave. So you need to be able
You need
to
to like
you need to be
you need to
comfortable
like it.
there. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah. So however you want to term that.
Okay. Right. All right. Well, to finish this interview, I like to have like the kind of the light, fun part. It's the flash questions. So
Nice.
it's very easy questions. You can answer with one sentence, one word, whatever, but you don't have to develop too much. What is hardest between Gaelic football or trail?
The trail races and probably the Gaelic training.
What? Right?
The training for Gaelic, but
Okay.
the races are probably harder than the matches.
Okay. Got it. If you had the chance to talk to one of them for an hour, who would you choose between Eliud Kipchoge or Kilian Jornet?
Oh, that's a great question. Uh, Jornet probably.
Why?
He really thinks about everything that he's doing, like as an athlete, and he's like pushing the boundaries. He's like a human experiment, like what he's just done going across America.
Yeah. That's insane. That's
Uh,
just insane. Like, I don't
yeah,
think he's human, this guy.
yeah. If people Google his name and just some of the achievements he's done is amazing, and he's just doing them because he loves the sport. It's amazing to see.
All right. You kind of answered it, but let's try it again, maybe a different angle. Training alone or with a group? Not a team, a group.
In between both. Sometimes I like to be social, and then sometimes I just love getting out in the morning, just training on my own.
Okay. Are carbon shoes overrated?
I've actually never worn them, and I'm probably gonna get a pair soon for road. They're not overrated. For trail, maybe they're not. I don't think they're very
Yeah, I
good
don't
for
think
trail yet, but for road, yeah, they're legit.
best carb loading food.
Oh, I love chocolate milk.
Chocolate milk?
Yeah. So chocolate milk is like one of the best things you can have after training because it's got good level of protein and
I've never heard of it.
and good
Okay.
carbs. And then a day before a race, like I'll just drink a lot of that with all the meals.
Okay. Top 3 techniques to recover.
To recover, sleep. I'd say other people have said this in a podcast probably. Sleep, and
Yeah,
eating.
probably that's very true. Yeah,
Yeah.
because I honestly think that everything else is so much like it's either useless or very very secondary at the very
Yeah.
best. Like I've been today to the Lisbon center to pick up my bib for the health, and they were selling like the massage gun, the this kind of
Yeah, the
device where you put your
le-
legs in to accelerate recovery. I really think this is bullshit. All of this.
Yeah, I think there's probably a placebo effect on them.
Oh yeah,
But there's
this I agree. Yeah.
there's like a triangle probably of effectiveness of recovery, and sleep is along the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
It's the king. I love sleeping and eating because I like running because I get to eat whatever I want generally.
Yeah, I think to me this is this is one of the main reason I do so much sport is because I can eat whatever I want and
Yeah.
I don't have guilt problem. That's awesome. Anyway, last question. A crazy challenge you want to try, and it does not have to be a running thing. It can be, but it does not have to.
Crazy challenge. Probably is running. I think I'd like to do Tour. It's like a 330
Yeah,
kilometer
230 kilometers.
race. It goes from like Italy to Switzerland to France, but the elevation as well it's something crazy.
Well, good luck.
Thanks.
That's insane if you do it. All right. Well, thanks, Jamie. It was a pleasure to have you. I really enjoyed talking about ultra trail and all, and Gaelic football.
Yeah.
I didn't know it. I hope you enjoyed.
No, I did.
Cool.
It's good fun.
Well, and thank you for everyone for watching the episode. If you had a good time, you know the drill. Please like, subscribe. If you have some feedback about it, please do write it in the comment. I'm gonna read it. It's homemade. I'm doing a lot of mistakes, so I want to improve. So please share this with me. Tell me how I can improve. I'll see you next time, and bisous.
Ciao.